But I really do feel like the biggest war of our lives is rich versus poor. And they've done a fantastic job at getting us to divide ourselves. One's faith is meant to be a personal experience, and the communion of that faith is meant to be a gathering of like-minded faithful. But what it isn't supposed to be, but often is a tool by the powerful to control the weak or simple-minded. Interesting. It's interesting that you say that religion should not be a tool by the powerful to control the weak or simple-minded. Why not? Why can't religion be that tool to control people? Thought religion was meant to give people hope and purpose. There's definitely a point in that. Is it f***ed up to be used as a tool? I don't know. Do you think going to school is f***ed up? You guys ever thought about how school is just literally raising children to join a workforce so that they can become work slaves? School isn't terrible. It's a necessary, it's almost like a necessary human function of, it's the creation of society, right? In order for society to function, we have created schools so that kids can learn about what they're good at and what they're not good at. And they expose you. The point of school is to expose you to just shit, blah, 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 blah. Shakespeare, math, science, history, PE, boo, 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 boo. And then your child brain is like, oh, I don't know what the hell's going on. I think I like science. I got good grades in that shit. And now you pursue a field that has related to do to the thing that you had an affinity towards. And now you're growing up and you're being a scientist. Just because they threw a bunch of random shit at you and you was like, oh yeah, that science one. Ugh, my brain is really wrapping around mathematics. I love analyzing. I think that I should make money by analyzing things because that's what my brain does good. And therefore, people find themselves doing different things that they are better at. Some people just end up doing things that they're not better at. Some people don't find what they're good at. They're just working to survive. It's not that they're good at it. They're just, okay, well, yeah, it's nice that you guys are kind of, tapping into your talents, I suppose, but I just need to get paid so I can survive. So humankind has evolved this way. And there's a lot of things that we do that I don't agree with. There's a lot of things that we do that I personally don't agree with. But there are things that we do that allow us to function better as society. And educating children and exposing them to things to math and numbers and feelings and emotions and learning and other kids and socializing and being good to each other and trying to teach good values. Because kids are empty palettes, they're empty plates. And as much as we might hate the concept of school turning people into work slaves, we do need more people than not to be a contribution to society. We can't have every person going out there and just fending for their own and then just being like, good luck. The culmination of people creating a society, a working function, is something that helps humankind to grow. So coming together does often net into advancements in technology and civilization. Zinder said, my main issue with school is how boring and monotonous it feels having to go to school every single day, doing the same thing over and over again. Not to mention that I'm an introvert who didn't really talk to people. So you can go to work and do the same thing every day. That monotony, they want that to become used to it. The more people who go to school love to go to work. You ever realize that? That monotonous thing, doing it over and over and over and over. People who love going to school, getting good grades, oh, they love working. I'm going to get up every morning and go to work, be on time, do my work. It's a great way to raise a work slave. And I say work slave because that has a negative connotation. Because in the grand scheme of things, I look at things from a class. My viewpoint on life is I look at a lot of things from class. I think the biggest disparity of our kind is rich versus poor. I've always felt that way. That has been the root of a lot of my gripes, is how the rich keep the rich rich by making sure that poor people stay poor. Rich people gatekeeping resources and finances is probably my biggest pet peeve of all time, and the thing that I dislike the most about how humans operate, at least in America, in a capitalist society. What's your opinions on the military recruiters at high schools? You have some countries where military is required. I'm glad that in the United States that the military is not a required thing. A lot of people were like hate United States and America, but I am thankful that I did not have to go to the army. The military, in my opinion, tends to be something for people who have a hard time finding the thing that they're good at. So it's almost like one of those like, hey, didn't find anything in school you was good at? Come to the military, sign up for the government, and you can be a part of the cog, and you can live, we'll control you. You don't really know what you want to do with your life. I'll tell you what you should do with your life. You're going to serve our country. And you're going to do something that contributes to society in a way that might not be. You'll become a dog of the military. Yeah, you'll be a full metal alchemist. Full metal alchemist. You ever think about how literally Full Metal Alchemist is about how 2 kids joined the military? State alchemists. They literally just became military soldiers. And we love them. We love them. We love the military when we romanticize the concept of anime turning them into soldiers, but then we hate them when we put it in real life. They didn't have to. They just used it. And there are people who go to the military because maybe they don't have the finances. They didn't get good grades. A lot of people who are in the military, maybe they have a military family. They grow up and everyone in their family is in the military. So joining the military is just a part of that process. It's natural to them like it is breathing. They didn't even have a choice. That was just something that their parents just told them. Oh, you're going to join the military. You're going to be an aircraft man. And they're like, okay, I'm like 9, but okay, I guess I am doing that. So that's a necessary thing. We need people to work in our government. We need people to work in our military. We need it. I'm curious, if you were in charge of changing the school system, what would you do? Me personally, I would implement a new class that helps you learn how to pay taxes. So they can't teach you how to pay taxes in school because it would mess up with the concept of poor people not staying poor. Okay? You cannot teach kids how to not get in debt. You can't make them financially inept, because then how else are we going to put them in debt? How else are we going to make them f up on their first credit card? How else are we going to make it so that they are dependent on the credit system? Why would I try, if I'm the owner of the rich world, why would I try to create a society where poor people can have more of my resources? Why would I do that? And the reason why I'm saying these things is because this is how people think. I feel for the most part, parents should be responsible for financial literacy. However, most parents aren't financially literate themselves. Yes. And that's called a generational curse, because a lot of people are raised in families that don't know shit about when it comes to finances. And by the time they learn, it's already too late. Whereas little Timmy and Tommy have like 5 LLCs at the age of 16 because their dad has taught them about about tax write-offs and owning a business and capitalists and business. America is a generational curse. The best education systems in the world with the greatest quality of life do in fact teach their students financial literacy in some capacity. Yes, that's why the best schools cost as much money as they do. We're gatekeeping top tier education. Now, the thing is that now with the age of the internet, education is becoming more accessibly available. But imagine that, like, you just can't get top tier education. You have to, you go to school, but your school ain't like other people's school. Nope. You learn math, you ain't really learn math. You think you learn literature? You think you learn shit? Go check out that rich school. Go check out what they're learning. They teaching them some shit at a much younger age. So that's why education being privatized can be a little bit scary, because if the quality of education in poor places stay low and the quality of education in rich places stay rich, then it keeps the people rich and it keeps poor people poor. That's one of my biggest gripes. And maybe someone can debate me on this or talk to me about this or educate me on this, but I really do feel like the biggest war of our lives is rich versus poor. And they've done a fantastic job at getting us to divide ourselves, the poor people, into fighting. They've done a great job. Great job. Puppets. Dance. Brokies. Fight. Here's some more shit to fight at you. Here's another bone for you to fight about. Here's another bone for you to fight about. Fight about race. Fight about racism. Fight about genderism. Fight about sexism. Fight about political beliefs. Fight. You brokies, fight about it. Hate each other. The more that you can divide poor people, the more that rich people can continue to subjugate them. Imagine the slaves. They do this. This is a tactic, by the way. You have slaves, and then you create divisions between the slaves. You make enslaved fighting. You make some slaves better than the other ones. You make some slaves have some special permissions. Then the slaves start disliking each other. And then they don't have the ability to come together because they've been so divided. These slaves have been so divided that they don't have enough unity to stand up to their oppressors. That is slavery 101. And people will say that in America and a lot of these countries and these places, it's just modern day slavery. That's the whole concept of modern day slavery. A lot of us are still slaves, and we just don't know it because they've done a really good job at hiding it. They want to privatize education to make money for themselves. That's why. Yes. Keep the rich rich and keep the poor poor. Entertain with one hand, rob with other. That's right. The problem though is that it's effective. It's effective. It's very effective. Rich people have created a very effective system to distract poor people. They've mastered it. It's a craft. And they do it every year. They just get better and better and better. I honestly don't think it's a system that can be disrupted. That's the concept of Fight Club. Fight Club is interesting, and I think about it. I haven't seen it in years, but if I recall, Fight Club is basically the unity of a class of people realizing that if they did come together, they could take over a country. If you know, Fight Club is about the revolution between rich and poor people class. When you take like average day citizens that are very crucial and important, and you bring them all together, you can make some scary shit happen. It might also be about like terrorism, I guess, within your own country, but you know, if you're hurting other people. But also, rich people will be very quick to call you a terrorist if you are threatening the order of the rich versus the poor, right? When you're threatening that disorder, I guarantee you, you're gonna be called a terrorist.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
How you guys liking our little talking session? Y'all like this shit? Make this a series? I can't. I have a hard time turning everything into content. I need to be like Asmongold and just literally just sit here and yap, and then I'll have one of you guys turn it all into videos.
For the spaceship, now I'm a space cadet. Big white mansion in my habitat. Aim light stage like a laser tag.